Hello, I hope everyone is well and staying safe. Now, for most of us at Rather Inventive, we work remotely. So for us, it's business as usual. But for some, it's going to be a period of hardship, and that's especially true for charities. So that's why I'm going to make our Inventive Marketing Club free to all charities for now and into the foreseeable future. I hope this small gesture on our part will equip them with the tools to help them find people willing to give a little bit more and support their good work. So if you do know of a charity who would benefit, send them over to ratherinventive.com/club or ask them to contact me on support@ratherinventive.com and I'll get them set up. There's no cost and hopefully this will help. I wish you all the best in your businesses, and if I can be of help in any way, do get in touch on that same email, support@ratherinventive.com, and I'll do my best. Thank you and enjoy the show. Thanks for coming on, Rod. It's really nice
thanks for having me
on our podcast. No, my pleasure.
Very excited.
Now, you came along to one of my workshops. It was an SEO workshop.
I did, yeah.
Was that last year? I think it was last year.
Yeah, last year, like last year. As in like a couple of months ago.
Oh yeah, it was somewhere in Cheltenham, HSBC event.
Yeah, I was like under HSBC, which I didn't even know existed until I went there.
Yeah, so it's really nice to meet you there. And then we met at I think it was a LinkedIn local event.
It was,
this year. Recently, I was like, I know that.
A couple of weeks ago, yeah.
We actually did a little video because you were explaining that you're a magician to some of the people you work with, and I was like, right, I need to video this because actually I want to share that on LinkedIn.
It lends itself to video very well.
Yeah, it does. But I wanted to find out a little bit more about how you got into it. You know, what brought you into magic? Because I'd imagine you have to have quite a passion for doing it because there's a lot of hard work.
Yeah, there's definitely a particular type of person. Like, I was always very interested in the very weird stuff. Like when I was growing up, I used to do origami. I had all these weird clubs at school, was making stuff. And I was always a very creative person. I used to love drawing and that sort of thing. I think it was kind of perfect for me because it was kind of a mixture of creativity and problem solving, because I create some of my own magic. So the idea is you have a concept and you have to reverse engineer how that could possibly be done. Okay,
can you explain that a little bit then?
So say I have an idea, I want a card to disappear and appear somewhere else. So that's sort of the premise, that's the end goal. And to get to that point is a process of putting different sleight of hand together. So through reading books or lectures and that sort of thing, you accumulate sort of a catalogue of sleight of hand. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of put them together like building blocks to kind of take you from point A to point B.
Okay.
So sometimes it's not possible, or it just hasn't. It's very hard to do something, or the technique hasn't been invented yet. There's always people creating more and more magic, which makes it is almost like a science to some extent.
Yeah, I didn't think there was so much active research or involvement with it. I imagined that magic is set. There aren't, once you learn it, there's almost a book or people to learn off, and there's a set number of things, and you can adapt them to fit.
Yeah.
But actually, it's interesting to think about people investigating and trying out new developments in magic.
I wouldn't say every magician is like that. Like most performing magicians won't create their own effects.
Yeah.
It'll be mostly stuff that other people have done and they put their own sort of presentation or spin on it. But there is two kind of categories within the magic industry. So you have the performers, which is like me, and then you have the people that create magic, and they'll sell their tricks to other magicians. So it's it's kind of like research and then execution. But yeah, people don't really know about that, which is...
Yeah, that is interesting. Are those people, would they be well known, or do they tend to be people behind the scenes?
There'll be people behind the scenes. So, for example, if you're watching a David Blaine special, he'll have a team of consultants who are also very good magicians, and they'll work with him to kind of create the best effect for TV.
All right.
So it's a team effort, and
that's amazing.
It's interesting. But you have to be a certain type of person for that, I think.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. It's a bit like some of the comedians you see on TV or here on podcasts.
Yes, exactly.
And you think often that a lot of them are just saying everything off the top of the head. Maybe they're doing some stand-up. But actually, often, if they're not just working on their own, revising and working really hard on that routine, much like you, I'd imagine, that they're working with a team, actually a team of writers going through the jokes, testing them all out. And it's just amazing.
Especially creativity, collaboration is very important. You need to bat ideas off each other and kind of suggest other ideas, like this could work better. Have you tried this? With that sort of thing, having a group of people really helps, which is a bit harder if you're a magician because there aren't as many magicians around.
So tell me about the work you've done so far. I mean, looking on your LinkedIn profile, you do weddings, parties, corporate
Yep.
events, that sort of thing. Tell me a little bit about those.
I do close-up magic, so any event where people are kind of standing around, could be having drinks, mingling, it could be between courses. I kind of mingle with the audience. So it's not like a show. It's not like everybody look at me. I'm on stage with assistants and that sort of thing. I kind of just integrate with the audience. So that's my favorite part about it. It's very personal, and it's kind of an interaction rather than me showing off. So any event that kind of lends itself to that. So yeah, weddings is a big one, especially with Britain's Got Talent. Now magic is it's got a lot more of a profile than it did 10 years ago.
I think there was a period where magic wasn't so exciting.
Yes.
On TV there was an era where it was on TV, and then it just got a bit samey. But I think maybe people like David Blaine have really pulled magic out to be something that's a bit more fantastical again. Because just going back to meeting you at the LinkedIn local, I don't do magic, but I know how it works. As you say, it's sleight of hand. It's a lot of practice. The card isn't really moving from this place to this place.
Or is it?
So I believe in science, but when you see it firsthand, it's still bloody hell. Wow. Yeah. That's amazing.
I guess that's the idea, is to form a trick that is so impossible that people can't comprehend how that would happen. I think that's the end goal. I mean, you'll always get people that are more skeptical than others. I studied biology at uni, so a lot of the people that would perform one would be quite analytical and scientific about it. Wouldn't become as engrossed in the magic as other people would.
No, but I think it's like anything. Maybe watching a film, science fiction film, or any film really, you've got to suspend disbelief. Really, you've got to just let it flow and be in the moment and say, well, what you're doing is actually, there's a lot of work behind that. It's just the way you've done it is remarkable. What you've pulled off. Whether you go, well, actually, I want to analyze this step by step. I want to look at the science here. There's no fun in that. It's not the reason for doing it.
Yeah, I guess there's two sides of being impressed. There's being impressed with the actual, amazed with the trick. And there's being impressed with the sleight of hand. You can appreciate the work that went into it. So it's kind of a different. There's different reactions depending on the audience.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess you've got to work with your crowd. How easy is that? Is that something that you found quite easy to do as you've moved into doing this close-up stuff?
That's definitely something that takes a lot of practice. I'm still learning, because I've only been doing magic for 4 years now. So yeah, still learning. You can learn the tricks in front of the mirror. You can learn that at home by yourself, but performing on actual people is another ball game, because you got hecklers. It's the same as being a stand-up comedian.
Yeah,
it's writing the jokes by yourself and then actually performing them. It's a very different sort of thing. And just crowd control, learning to be in the best position for that particular trick, so everybody gets to see it, or there's certain angles that don't work as well. So yeah, performance is definitely the hardest thing to master. It's a lot of character development as well. I feel you're kind of forced to get out of your comfort zone quite a bit.
Yeah, and do you think that's helped in other areas, like generally in marketing and other things that you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, certainly for the networking side of things, magic lends itself very well to networking, because in its nature, you're talking to people and kind of showing them what you do, as well as telling them about what you do. You get to show them, which is quite rare with a networking event. If you, for example, you might be a bit harder to show someone what you can do for their business.
Yeah, I need a couple of hours really to have a look at their analytics. Let's have a look at your website.
Yeah, and I guess it's engaging that emotional side. That's what people usually, if they're going to hire you because they're emotionally not involved, they're emotionally attached to what you do in some way. So I guess it's getting to logically think, our event could benefit from having him there, and then emotionally think, I want my friends to feel that excitement or that emotion. Yeah,
that's a good point, because at weddings, it might be that you're, from a job point of view, what you're doing is helping keep people entertained. Literally, you're doing that. You're hopefully making it more something they'll remember as well, not just the wedding. Yeah. But also they remember you. That's good, and that helps connect it with the wedding and it uplifts it in people's memory. Yeah. I think the same thing for corporate events. I've often thought that having someone doing something slightly different, you might be, I don't know, I've been to many conferences, and they can get a little dry. And it's the really good conferences are the ones to know when people are tired and hungry. And there's no point thrusting more information down. And at that point, maybe they do want something different. It could still be a talk, but it could be a silly talk, funny talk, or it could be someone like you coming up, maybe giving a talk about how you became a magician while you're doing card tricks or something like that. So you're still going to be getting across some information. You're working with the crowd, and I think that can be really good for corporate events, actually, to bring someone in either part of the presentations or in between things. This episode is sponsored by 34sp.com. They offer fast, secure, and managed WordPress hosting for the low price of $9.95 a month. Now, we've moved most of our clients over to 34SP now. We were previously using a shared hosting supplier. It's becoming rapidly unreliable, lots of 500 errors, very sluggish. I was really impressed with 34SP's speed once we moved over. It was incredibly fast through server and page caching. In fact, the first site we moved over went from 1.5 seconds, which is okay, to 0.4 seconds. I was incredibly impressed with the whole admin interface of WordPress when logging in and adding plugins and so on. It was incredibly speedy. 34SP also offer a free SSL certificate with Let's Encrypt, daily backup, and managed core and plugin updates so your site is secure, a free website migration service, which I make full use of, a staging area to spin up a copy of your website to make tests safely, no restrictions on bandwidth, a simple control panel that I wish other hosts would copy, I really do, and great UK-based support even on the weekend, and I've used that a few times. So visit 34SP to upgrade your WordPress hosting. And when you do, use the code WPINVENTIVE at checkout. That's WPINVENTIVE, all one word, to get your first 3 months completely free, which is a particularly good deal. Thank you to 34SP for sponsoring Something Inventive.
People crave that sort of unique experience.
Yeah.
And most people have never seen live magic before. Like most people have seen it on TV, but seeing it live is completely different.
Yeah.
Because like on TV, it can be like some camera tricks going on. But when you're seeing it right in front of you, it's something else. And so for people to see that when they're not expecting it, when they're expecting a boring sort of corporate event, it kind of makes the whole thing a lot more memorable and makes the whole experience a bit more worthwhile for them, I think.
I also found that it brought people together. So in the small crowd that we had, we could talk about what has just happened. So it takes away the fear of talking to other people, because now we can talk about what you've just done, and actually that's quite emotional. It's quite engaging. It's quite easy. And I think that it actually deepens that conversation and relationships between the people who've just met. We've got a common memory, which is nice.
Yeah, I think that's what it's about, is providing that shared experience for a group that they can, even after I'm gone, they can have a talk about, or they've shared that impossible experience together. It's going to stick in their mind and kind of create a rapport between them to some extent. And I think that's why it's great for weddings, when like, people don't know each other, family members don't know each other. It's a great way to sort of introduce everybody to each other without forcing it.
Now, it says on your LinkedIn profile you're award winning.
So basically, it was towards the end of last year, I was asked to put myself forward for the Manchester Prestige Awards. Sorry. And basically you put yourself forward and they look at your website, your business, and you have to write a little sort of summary about your values, what your goal is and that sort of thing. Clearly loved what I put down, and I won an award for it, which is pretty cool. I got this little frame here.
Right, nice.
It's pretty cool. I mean, I'm not sure how much it actually means, but it's a good sort of qualification to put on my magic CV, I guess.
It is always nice to have award winning on there.
Yeah, certainly. And yeah, I did. The other one is, it was quite soon after I started Magic. I did a close-up Magic competition in one of the clubs in Manchester, and I won an award for best card trick, which was pretty insane.
Oh, nice.
When it was like my first year of doing Magic.
Bit of a confidence boost.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when don't know that many other magicians, and I didn't spend that much time with magicians. But it was still nice to get that sort of approval from. It was a bit of an ego boost to some extent.
Yeah, that definitely helps, especially when you're starting out, I guess. You've also it says you performed for companies and VIP celebrations. So and you mentioned two people. I'm not actually sure who they are. Elizabeth Olsen and Jessica Shea. Who are they?
So. Elizabeth Olsen, have you ever seen the Avengers? Anything like that?
Yes.
Well, she acts the Scarlet Witch in that.
Oh yeah, okay, yes, I know who you mean. Yeah.
The other one who has the Force kind of thing. Well, it wasn't actually an event, funnily enough. I was actually on holiday in Florence with my sisters, and we were sitting at a restaurant, and my sisters noticed that she was actually on a date a few tables above me. This was still when I was pretty new to Magic as well, and my sisters were like, how cool would it be if you went and performed on her? And I was like, oh god, that's a lot of pressure. So what I did, I actually kind of worked my way up the tables, because I didn't want to think I was going straight for her.
So it looks like maybe your job is now to do close-up Magic for everyone there.
Yeah, so I was doing some on the other tables, and then I eventually got to her, and
clever,
and it went very well. And so that was.
Did you get any video? Because it didn't happen. I
was very annoyed, because my sister got like this one very blurry picture, but I was kind of expecting her to video it, and she didn't, and I was actually very angry after that. But yeah, I forgave her just about.
Darn. Well, I wanted to pick up on videoing, and I basically want to find out a little bit more about what you're doing in terms of marketing yourself. I always think it's interesting to find out about different businesses and what they're doing to get more business or just get their name out there. At the LinkedIn Local event, I videoed you. So video, I think, is really important because actually posting that on LinkedIn gave that focus. People could chat about it again. We've got that second win from your magic, which was quite good. Yeah. Maybe help me as well because I'm helping funnel that in. But what other things do you do, and what works well for you?
So I think pictures and videos is probably the best way to sort of draw people in, especially with Instagram. So I have a lot of pictures of like kind of reaction shots of people like with their mouths wide open or laughing, that sort of thing. Because that's what people want at their event, is for their guests to feel like that. And so if I can kind of get across that the magic has that effect on people, I think that will resonate with people.
I think that's a nice way of looking at any sort of marketing for certainly for products or even services, to look at the outcome. And so you're looking at the outcome that people want, happy, memories are being generated. So they're the photos you pick. I think that's a good lesson for a lot of people who are trying to promote themselves, is to pick what that end goal is. How is your customer going to feel once you've delivered your service or they've got the product in their hands?
Yeah, I guess it's just getting in the head of your potential buyer. I think it's the main thing.
Yeah.
What are they looking for at their event? What type of people are they? What are they going to be looking for in someone they want to hire for their event? Reliability. So reviews is a big one for me. I got reviews on my website and on Google.
And so you use them on Google. How else do you collect reviews?
Well, sometimes I have messages from people that have hired me saying like, thank you, you're amazing, whatever. And I put that on my Instagram story. Sorry, I didn't mean to sound so cocky there.
Anyway, yeah, I know.
But yeah, I kind of put that on my Instagram story for people to flick through, on my website as well. Yeah. So just anything that kind of shows that I'm experienced and qualified.
Yeah, that people have trusted you before. So it makes you less of a risk.
I haven't got so many reviews like this, but people that are sort of skeptical before they hire me, and then after they hire me, they're like, wow, that was amazing. I'm so glad we had you along. Yeah. Actually, I think I've one review like that. Because a lot of people will, especially if they've never seen any magic before, they will be a bit skeptical. So if they've heard from someone in the same sort of position as them that has really loved the magic, I think that will go down quite well with them.
What else do you use? What other techniques?
So I've started using LinkedIn a bit more now, hence why I was at the LinkedIn event, because I'm trying to get into the more corporate side of things. So the first time I posted like a video of me kind of explaining why people should have a magician at their event.
I saw that, but you know what? You didn't have any magic in there.
I did. Yeah.
You should. I mean, it's great. Yeah. You went through and explained that in 3 stages or whatever, but there's no magic.
On my Instagram, I have videos of me doing like just magic to the camera, so maybe I should incorporate that a bit more. But yeah, it was kind of my first time doing that sort of thing, because I wouldn't say I'm very confident in front of the camera. I think it's something that you learn, I guess, from doing it.
Well, you do. I mean, it's the same as you being confident in front of people in real life.
Yeah.
I mean, you're used to that now, and it's the same with the camera. You just get used to it time and time again. So with videos, I mean, I'll see if I can bring up your website and we'll just show a couple on here. So this is just on your weddings page. You've got a little video. It's quite classy, a little bit of slow motion. Fiddling with the cards. It's very nice. So how did you put this together?
So I actually got at an event. This was in Manchester. I met a videographer at an event I was doing, and we got in contact. I liked his stuff, and then I asked him if he could film me. And then he filmed it, and he did a great job. So he's filmed 2 of my videos, and I have another mate who's a videographer in Cheltenham now. So if I do any more stuff, he's going to film that.
I think it's definitely worthwhile, because you can see the tricks, you can see the reactions. I mean, you've got static photos further down on the page, but actually that video, it's really nice to see exactly how these things work. Demonstrates you in a real environment, so they can say, well, I've got that wedding.
Yeah, it kind of shows them what it's going to look like a bit more than a photo can, and how I kind of work with the crowd, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's come across really well. What other things are working well for you in terms of marketing?
So a big one is word of mouth with what I do. Same with most entertainers.
Referrals, yeah.
So yeah, I did an event at Queen's Club in London. Very, very nice venue, quite an exclusive venue. So like ordinarily it's quite hard to get into that unless you know people. So I actually had a mate who was a member there, and he got me a gig there. And someone at that event got me another gig, and someone at the other gig got me another gig.
Good, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And do you so the people you meet, do you follow them up in any way? So like the LinkedIn Local, how do you do that?
What's your process? If I meet someone at an event, I'll give them my business card, and if they have a business card themselves, I'll take that. And I usually try and find them on LinkedIn. And if I can't, I'll just send them an email, link to my website, like maybe a video attached. Because yeah, people forget. I found like when I was starting out, people would be like, yeah, we'll hire you, and then you never hear from them. I mean, that happens. And
sometimes people are just being nice. Yeah, or they do forget. I've often found that. I haven't got one in front of me. Let me see if I can grab one. But I haven't had business cards for ages. But I always found that didn't always work, and sometimes actually it's quite nice for them to have something they can pin up. So I just put a load of pictures of all the different things I've been doing and different places, so they can see that I'm real. I know people. They're all having a good time.
Yeah,
and I think having something that people can keep like that is better. But then, as you say, following it up, actually taking that next.
That's definitely the main thing.
I don't know if you've heard of this using a service called BombBomb. Actually, they're one of the sponsors in this show. This bit's not sponsored, but I've been using it to send proposals.
Is this the video? Was that guy on your podcast?
Yeah, that's right, Jonathan.
Yeah. I think I've had a chat to him on LinkedIn actually. He got in contact with me.
Yeah. Oh, really? Brilliant.
Yeah.
He was really good. Actually, gave some brilliant tips. I really like Jonathan. But I've been using that software to test it out for sending proposals. For that very reason, to help, because you can speak to someone on the phone and maybe you could collect their email, but actually if you send that video through, especially if they've met you in person, it can help the connection stay a bit longer, deepen that relationship. This episode is sponsored by BombBomb.com. Whether you're in sales, customer success, business development, or leadership, you're probably at your best when you're face-to-face with someone, just like this. That's why BombBomb has created a way to quickly and easily send simple personal videos directly from your email inbox. Now, I've always felt at a disadvantage communicating in text, particularly via email, so I've been using BombBomb to send explainer videos alongside my proposals. It's easier for me to explain all the details about a project without it ending up like a wall of text that I know people won't read. Using personal video also allows me to share my personality and enthusiasm, which can be hard to get across with text. So with BombBomb, your emails can feel as warm and personal as a face-to-face meeting, which will help create a better customer experience, increase conversion, and build stronger professional relationships. If you'd like to see examples of how sales, marketing, and customer success professionals are using email videos in their business, then go to vid.us/somethinginventive, and you'll be sent 10 video examples from real users. You'll also get to hear from Jonathan, who was a guest on my podcast, and he's given me some really good tips when presenting in video, particularly for using these whiteboards and pens. Plus, you'll also get a chance to set up a free trial of the software yourself. So visit vid.us/somethinginventive to get 10 video examples from real users. Thank you for BombBomb for sponsoring Something Inventive. No, that's cool. Now, something we were trying to do, or something I wanted to see if you could do, is a magic trick. Whether you can do a magic trick over this podcast that will also work in audio. So
we're gonna do our best. Yeah. So this is the first time for me. I think the best thing is to do is kind of describe what's happening. Okay. So I have a deck of cards here. I'm gonna leave this in the screen the whole time. It's in a card box. So you're gonna keep an eye on that and make sure I can't touch it. Yes. So as a magician, you kind of learn how to anticipate people's behavior. You kind of you can kind of look at someone and say they're this type of person, or they make this decision in this particular circumstance. So we're going to do that with you now. Okay. So I want you to imagine that you have a deck of cards in your hands.
Yeah. Okay. I'm imagining.
Good. Imagine it. He's holding his hands up as well as if he's imagining it. That's good. I want you to spread those cards out in front of you, face up.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Done.
So you got all the cards facing in front of you.
Yeah.
And you're going to hold your finger above the imaginary deck of cards. I'm going to move it left to right. Okay. And you're gradually going to come down and land on one card.
Okay. And I'm not going to tell you what that is, obviously.
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay. Done.
Okay. So your finger's landing on that card. You're going to turn that face down.
Okay.
Okay. So your card is the only face down card amongst all the face up cards.
That's right.
Would you agree that there's no way I could know which card you turned?
Not possible, no.
Not possible.
I'm not turning, for the people who are listening, I'm pretending to do this. So I pretended to
it's all imaginary.
It is not possible, yeah.
Okay, but as I said, I'm good at anticipating behaviour, and I have a deck of cards here. And before this, I actually turned one card over. So for the first time, tell everybody what was the card that you turned over in your imagination.
The Ace of Spades.
The Ace of Spades.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I actually turn one card face down. Can you see this?
Yeah.
All the cards are face up.
Yeah. So he's removed the cards from the pack.
One face down card.
Yeah.
Ace of spades.
Yeah, ace of spades.
There you are.
That worked really well. Thanks, Rod.
Thank you.
Oh, that's perfect. That's brilliant. Right, going to make sure that we include that in the extract.
Yeah, definitely.
That's brilliant. Actually, it's a really good way of showing how magic can transcend lots of barriers. You don't have to do it.
Yeah, I did my best.
Nice, perfect. Thank you. No, it did perfect. Thank you. Just before we finish off, is there, like, in your day-to-day life or home or work, is there a recommended tool, app, book, or podcast that you love that I can share with the audience?
Ooh, okay. Well, let me think about this. I think any sort of note-taking app for just getting down ideas. It doesn't even have to be an app. It can just be like a notebook. I have a notebook at home, like around me all the time, just because kind of coming up with ideas in my subconscious. So I think having a good place to immediately write them down, so you have a collection of ideas, is a great thing to do, especially if you're developing new marketing ideas. So just, keep track of your ideas, and they might not seem useful at that point, but in the future they might be useful. So just write everything down, I would say.
I think that's a really good tip, actually. I find a lot of people might have ideas, but they'll write them down or note them in different places. Having one place, whether it's like a little notebook or I use notes on my iPhone. Yeah, I think that's crucial, because actually you get all ideas all the time. You're probably having them when you're going to sleep, when you're in the shower, when you're driving somewhere, and you need, well, not when you're driving, obviously stop, pull over, then write the idea down. Yeah. But yeah, that's a really good tip. I like that.
Another thing is, this might not be relevant to everyone, but I find every time I perform, after every gig, I'll kind of write down a report of how it went. So I'll write down what tricks worked well, what didn't work so well, what I need to improve for next time, and also write down the contacts that I met, maybe describe the conversation we had, or their appearance, just so, like, if I follow up with an email, I can kind of talk about something we chatted about at the event. It just makes it a bit more personal. Like, a lot of people receive spam emails all the time. So
it does. I like the idea of that. I try and do something similar with their business card. So I'll write on their business card what we spoke about in brief, like a couple of keywords. So when I go back to them, I'm not looking foolish. I'm giving them the right information. And
you're not forgetting which person it is, especially when you meet a lot of people.
It does happen.
Sometimes. Yeah, it does.
Especially people who know you and go, "Hi, Ben," and I'm like, I was coming out of a meetup, a WordPress meetup, and I went down to the bar because we were just having a few drinks downstairs, and the woman behind the bar went, "Oh, hi, Ben," and I was thinking, do I know you? Were you at school? Was I at school with you? University? If I met you at a conference, whatever it was, and it was only till I sat down that I said, and I just couldn't think who it was. I really didn't know. And they pointed to my name badge that I had on here, which said Ben in big letters. I was like, felt so foolish. Silly me. Anyway, where can we find you online? What's the best place? If people want to talk to you more about or hire you, where can they go and find you?
Ideally, my website, go to my website, I have an inquiry form which you kind of fill in. Tell me a bit about your event and I can send you back with a quote. So the website is rodhandemagic.com. That's RODHANDE magic.com. And another one would be my Instagram, which is at rodhandemagic. And I got a bit of stuff on YouTube, but all the YouTube videos are linked on my website, so that'll be the easiest way to get to that.
Website's the best way.
And then LinkedIn, it's Rod Hande on LinkedIn.
Great, yeah, I recommend you do. It's certainly worth saying hello if you meet Rod at any event. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
If people want to find me, I'm at Ben Kinnaird on Twitter. You can email us at hello@ratherinventive.com. You can find the show notes for this episode, so I'll make sure your links to all your stuff are on that. That's on ratherinventive.com/podcast. And while you're there, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube feed. And that includes you, Rod, as well.
Yeah, that's it.
So you can see everything. Or if you use audio only, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, something like that, you can support this podcast by rating us on iTunes. It's really nice. It's a brilliant way for other people to find the podcast if you like it. You can check out our sponsors. Do have a look at them. And finally, you can get in touch if you need helping to build a sane and sustainable approach to your marketing. Get in touch with me. Thank you very much, Rod. Good speaking to you.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Thanks, everyone.